Welcome back to Relegations. Tiebreakers are still ongoing. We're down to the final tiebreaker this time round, because obviously if they all tie here, we're going to have to go into the second round of tiebreakers and whatever the admins are going to decide there. But hey, Burrito need to win.
Yes.
And the Pappies and Burrito return.
Well, Burrito's already, they're good. Like, they're good right now. It could be another tiebreaker scenario in the next round. It's just a matter of Victoria's Secret needs to win in order to keep it going.
Sure.
So for
that's what I mean. Burrito need to win to
Yes.
end it now and put
Yes.
themselves and Pappies through.
Yes.
If Burrito loses this game, we still have 3 teams and there's only 2 spots.
Yes.
Let's have a look at the standings so you can get all that into your head right now. Obviously, New Game Plus did not look new. They look quite old.
No, sometimes when you start a new game, like, you're not really familiar with what's going on, and that sort of stuff can happen to you.
I mean, that was just the Season 1 rejects to be extent. No offense to the Season 1, those guys
Wow.
were amazing, but it didn't work out today.
No.
And now we're left with 3, and it's all the Pappies fans are now watching this like, please.
Yeah, they're going,
Please.
Burrito, my SPL brethren, please. And Victoria's Secret is saying we got to come up big here because otherwise we're going to have to watch from the sidelines. And this is a big relegations process, as we've talked about multiple times
It's the last
today.
one.
The last relegations.
Last one.
At least for Season 5. And so you know that these guys have to be worried about messing SPL here.
Let's get into picks and bans then and see who will be first pick. It will be Victoria's Secret. They're going to take Kronos out straight away.
I like this. I mean, Kespainify has looked really, really strong on Kronos all day long. It's been a favorite pick for Burrito. And this is the advantage that you have, is that you've seen these teams play multiple times. It's not that just one-off game anymore. Now you've got some information. You can have those bans be a little bit more targeted.
Yeah, so ban that Camazotz. I'm
Yep.
not a real surprise to see that.
Yep.
Skadi ban maybe, or Hell, or some Kuang. So Hell, Skadi, Odin, all still available
Terra
here.
open as well here, so we'll have to wait and see where Victoria's Secret wants to go. I can't imagine it's going to be Hell. Haven't seen any Kuang yet either today. That's been a character that has been talked about a lot in terms of ranks, late game, like, can be very, very strong.
I guess it just depends on the composition more than not, because if you're going to
Yeah.
run a mage in the jungle, like Kuang is, you have to have physicals in the mid lane, potentially, to balance it out a little bit
You
more.
don't have to, but it's nice. It's
I mean,
just
3
that,
magical is riskier than more physical in my
sure,
opinion, you
sure.
know?
I agree with you there, but at the same time, you don't absolutely need it just nice. And a lot of the hunters that you'd be running in mid, the Neath, the Kernanos, the Skadi,
Sol.
you can have a lot of CC with those characters that set up for the Kuang nicely.
Not seen too much of Sol so far today, mainly banned out or counted away, if anything else.
Yeah.
Skadi and Odin both get through, as did Terra. However, Odin and Terra definitely favored here against the Skadi. Obviously, her lack of, well, escape, I guess, other than running away as fast as her little ice pool will take her,
Sure.
is her only real escape.
Yeah, but Osiris and Soul can both walk out literally in terms of Osiris. Soul can too after the disapparate. So look for Burrito to start banning out gods that either can save people inside the cage, like Geb, or can get out of the cage there on their
Why
own.
Jingwei? I've not seen Jingwei too much today, but
We saw
early
Jingwei in the
on.
last game. Warchi looked really, really strong on it, and then the game before that as
Double
well.
Geb! That's how serious it is
They
now.
really don't want to deal
That's
with
how
Geb, man.
serious it is
And
now.
you know what? Geb has performed so well today that I don't really blame him. Geb is really good.
And yeah, for the most part. So Jingwei, we'll see how she does here. More than likely in duo lane against Skadi, I'm expecting here. Unless Skadi's mid.
Yes.
That's not team
no,
money,
it's,
though,
no,
so-
it's probably Soul mid, Skadi duo lane. Skadi's been so dominant in duo. She can obviously play mid. We've seen a lot of players in the SPL player, and of course you've got Team Money as well, who we'll see play tomorrow for Team AI and NA relegations. Who ye here?
Okay.
Hindu.
I think
There's a
you
lot
called
of-
it.
There's a lot of physical.
There is a lot of physical. Odin can
There's a
flex to the
lot of
jungle,
physical.
though. They can
Yes.
flex into the jungle, but they do need another magical.
Could be a Guardian
like,
solo
actual-
laner, and that could be really strong into this
What, Kabrakan,
roster here.
or-
Kabrakan Sobek would be pretty good. I mean, Sobek's still available. Kuzenbo.
I just saw a Thor lock in too. That's what's surprising me too. We've not seen from Thor in a while, but
Yeah.
generally do or die moments, junglers like to go back to Thor for some reason.
They do.
We've noticed this before.
He's been a character that's been good for a long time and is always ready to go in terms of that playmaking potential. But when he falls behind, can still make that impact in the later stages.
Well, here we go. Victoria's Secret need this win to stay in contention of going to the Pro League in the fall split. Burrito, all they got to do is put Victoria's Secret to bed one more time, and them and the Pappies will be back for the full split.
I really think I would have preferred a Hunbats here for FrostiaK. I mean, as we've said, as I said earlier when we watched FrostiaK play, this Hunbats, one of his better gods, always has been, probably always will be. Would have been good into the Odin, would have been solid against this lineup. Thor just and it's just a volatile character in general. Can get ahead and really snowball a game, but can also fall behind. And yeah, the CC stays relevant, but the damage really doesn't. I think I would have picked Hunbats here if I'm on Victoria's Secret.
But I think that's what he's looking for here, using the Sol as a potential, extra burst damage with his combo. Wall, double tap, same time as Stellar Burst connects. That's a lot of damage hitting a target every time in the early game.
It is, but at the same time, that can be an awkward combination to pull off because the Stellar Burst projectile will stop at the wall and blow up and then might not reach someone on the other side. So you have to be walling on the correct side, and that's a lot of it.
You smell that?
What is it?
I think I smell some cheese coming. Can you smell it?
No, I don't smell anything.
Trust me, I've seen EU before. It looks like a bit of a cheesy play potentially coming out from Julio and FrostiaK here. They're not going to find what they were after, unfortunately. I think they were looking for something a little bit interesting, but they don't have vision on where everybody is. And now Johnny's doing the speed, and now FrostiaK's coming over to steal. The cheese is not going to be good. You could see the idea behind it.
And I love what Johnny does there. He focuses the speed buff only. A lot of times you'll see junglers try and weaken the babies and then weaken the big one and try and clear them all with one big ability afterwards. Johnny, I assume, got Dragon Call, the second ability, and then used that to only burn down the big one.
There's a bit of a chase going on. Skadi's being chased away from the buffs in the jungle right now. She didn't manage to get her own red buff, though, but Burrito took their own red and immediately invade the purple, strip this away from Spudio, so they give themselves an advantage in the duel lane. They've already got an advantage in solo because Kuang got more experience than everybody else.
Smart plays from Burrito early on. FrostiaK and Julio still have their own buffs to do on this right-hand side, and I believe those Fire Elemental should have gone Victoria's Secret's way. So that should be a slight lead overall for Victoria's Secret on the right once these buffs go down, except for Johnny. Johnny's going to have a slight edge over FrostiaK, but Sibi will be slightly behind Julio.
Well, Fusify just zoning Spudio away on his own. And as soon as LanceWolf turns up, though, it's going to be a 2v1, so Fusify will respect that fallback. Notice how Kespainify was given the experience of that purple camp on the left-hand side a little bit on his own, but Bird Bomb is going to hit onto Julio. Johnny's there on the spot looking to clean it up, but he'll do just that.
That's not a good look for Victoria's Secret. That's a first blood going to Kuang early on in the game, and FrostiaK still only level 2. This could be a speed buff invade for Burrito once they clear the solo lane.
Well, you can see Mr. Stefan is just taking the back half piece and got a minion wave in mid, so he can't really help out here. Has to prioritize the minion wave in mid lane first of all, as DeathPanter is rotating around towards the oracles here. 1-0 though, and as you said though, first blood was on Kuang.
Scary stuff. And as I mentioned, we haven't seen Kuang picked or banned so far today, but games are going later. Kuang got buffed. That seems like an environment where I'm going to want to pick a late game hyper carry, and Kuang certainly fits that bill.
Good work from LanceWolf there. Just going to throw out the damage and make sure he secures one of those oracles to split it and give no free ward vision away. And straight back to the mid lane at level 4. Should hit 5 off that mid wave now. As you can see, Stefan's a very similar position. Already hit level 5 here for the elementals and looking for pressure on the right-hand side.
Johnny going for FrostiaK, but with Mr. Stefan here, it could be tough, but Water Illusion gets him out of danger. Sibi knocks him down.
Love the play from Johnny there. He actually just keeps tricking FrostiaK into staying in the fight and then leaves himself knowing he's got an Odin waiting in the wings to just peace out that Thor.
Early game Odin, man, it does a lot of damage, and it gives Johnny enough pressure to stay safe in this early game, which is supposed to be Kuang's weakest part of the game. I mean, Sibi's level 5, Julio just now hitting level 4.
And then FrostiaK again, now only level 4 as well on the Thor in the jungle. He must hate Odin because he played it earlier on, didn't work out. Now he's played against it, and it's not working out so far. But it is still early days. It's only 2 kills. We've already mentioned it's not all about the early game. No. It's all mid to late, if not late to late. Later.
Interesting. Sibi just had he had the silver breastplate and then decided to sell that and go for the completed warrior tabi instead. I was thinking about going defense, I suppose, but I agree with his decision here to go warrior tabi instead. Take this lead that you've gotten. You've already got the XP lead, the gold lead over Julio. Push that. Try and get your invades to be a little bit more impactful. Try and get your defenses on your own buffs to be a little bit more impactful.
Well, the defense option is good, but that's just going to mean that Julio can't kill you. But the difference is if you go for damage, well, you can clear the wave instantly and potentially poke out Julio too, while he's still behind in the boots option. So it's not doom and gloom. He just needs to keep the pressure going.
Look at where Johnny's going to this left-hand side. Spudio does have his purification beads, but this is the only buff up on the map right now, and that's exactly where Johnny heads. Love the awareness of Burrito's jungler, always trying to know exactly where he can be.
So funny, in Game 6 today, The Pappies were hoping Victoria's Secret would win the game, and now they're hoping Burrito will. You saw Victoria's Secret get a kill on the left-hand side for FrostiaK on the Thor, but Burrito secure a Gold Fury in response, and that works out definitely more in favor of Burrito. But for Victoria's Secret, at least their jungle is now online.
Exactly. FrostiaK gets a kill, and he needed that desperately. Dzoni is pretty far ahead right now in terms of XP still, and should be ahead in gold as well. So getting that kill onto a character like Odin, who was going to be worth a lot of gold at this stage, having a kill and assist of his own, good look for FrostiaK.
You can see three members of Burrito not even scared of walking past Mr. Stefan and LanceWolf in the mid lane to start looking to invade again. Bad news is the blue buff is already down, so Victoria's Secret will secure their own, but they've got three members still waiting for this speed now. Now make that four, and Julio and FrostiaK don't think they realize how many were just waiting for them.
Sibi misses the bird bomb on a two, though. That could have been a big play for Burrito, but the solo laner just off the mark. Mark onto the solo lane this time, and there's the execute. Dzoni get the stack of that brand new passive.
And now Johnny's looking towards the speed buff potentially here, because that's been started up, and now he goes in and going to illusion away. He gets the speed buff and forces both Mr. Stefan and FrostiaK to disengage on top of it. This is great for Burrito.
Oh, you thought he was still looking for him, but I like this idea instead. Just get these back harpies, continue to power farm, because, I mean, you're 6 minutes in, and you're 2-0-1 as Kuang and up 2 levels on a Thor. Now, this is not what the script is supposed to look like.
And the passive is 3 stacks, correct?
Correct.
So 3 ultimates, and you get a big boost.
Big boost of power and magical lifesteal as well. So you can not only do extra damage, but heal off of that extra damage, stay sustained in the jungle a little bit easier, and try and carry you through that early game. And it's not looking good for Julio right now, who's already down 2 levels to Dzoni, and you can expect that's where that Kuang is going to be sitting, that right side, because he knows Julio doesn't have any purification beads.
After all the changes we had at the middle of Season 4, this is the funny thing of where the junglers start and what happens, and we saw an Kuang start his own speed this game. And he managed to get it on his own without being contested. A little bit too late, but Thor in mid. Frosty looking to make a play again. Will get beads out of DeathPanter, but won't have any further follow-up available because beads down, well, your wall's not going to do anything either.
DeathPanter, I think, could have held beads there, but that's such a tough call to get dunked on when you're looking at 2 people, even if they're far away in the mid lane and you know they're not going to be able to follow up. It's just an automatic reaction to beads that Thor dunk.
Realistically, you're the mid laner right now. Your team's up 3-1. You've got an Kuang in the jungle. Your job really is to just farm and stay alive.
Exactly. And then always better safe than sorry in those sorts of instances. You're always looking when you look back at the VOD to say, you know, what should I have done differently? That's one of those very small things that you see those really top tier players understand that exactly how much damage they can take and how much they can put out. In a situation like that, you may see some mid laners hold beads, but I don't think you should hold it against DeathPanter for using them.
Skadi trading off against the Jing away in the dual lane now, and there's a nice little walls coming out from Fusify. They actually blocked Kespainify as the pressure was on LanceWolf, but Lance is with the silence there. Comes to the rescue to get him away from the danger. And Johnny's meanwhile farming the other half of the map, which is his secondary jungle.
The back camp bandit, Dzoni, just taking him away from Burrito, and that's going to be a big lead on this for this jungler.
Bit of a potential trap coming out from Burrito here on this right-hand side, but the ward coverage in the mid lane is going to give Victoria's Secret an idea this was going on. So they will get back away for now, but Fusify just causing them problems on the rotation back towards mid. They should still be there in time for the minion wave, but they're taking a lot of free damage from Fusify, just causing them problems.
Not only free damage, but free 30 gold for each player that he just hit there with those boots. So 60 extra gold for Fusify. Does have that Lono's mask and getting pretty close to completing it.
Blue buff stolen away from Victoria's Secret, at least from Julio, who eats the edge of that bird bomb, and that puts pressure on. The ultimate was available, and he waited for it, and Dzoni, 3 in a row! And with 3 in a row, that also means that this Kuang is about to get out of hand.
One more stack to go until that's all stacked up. No completion bonus upon finishing that passive, but still excellent damage.
For some reason in my head, I was thinking he had 3 stacks already, but the first kill happened before he was even level 5.
Correct. Now FrostiaK trying to defend his speed, but may have just killed himself in doing so.
Saved.
1 HP, but
that's experience.
Got the speed buff.
That's calculated. That's what we call that. That wasn't calculated by Mr. Stefan, however, but it was calculated by FrostiaK on the left-hand side. He knew what he could do. Bad news is Mr. Stefan did not know about the rotation from Kespainify. Now 4 members grouped, and obviously with FrostiaK back in base, they're chipping away of the tier 2 tower with double hunters.
2 hunters, and then if you want to try and engage on them, you've still got an Kuang who's pretty close to finishing off that Bancroft's Talent or Book of the Dead, whichever one he wants to go for. If Dzoni has enough gold for Book of the Dead, that would actually be a sick pickup on Kuang, because the big knock on Ao is usually that he has to engage, be in the thick of things, and doesn't have a lot of HP, little survivability.
So the shield that you can get by farming, first of all, then
200 extra health, 20% more magical lifesteal. He's already got 20% from his passive right now. And of course, 100 power, plus the shield on top of that. Good luck even full comboing him at that point as this Thor.
Well, trying to take away the elementals from Dzoni, and we'll do just that. Nice little wall coming out from FrostiaK. That brings him still to level 8 against the level 11 of Dzoni. Solo laner Odin Sibi up a level as it stands right now. And basically everybody on Burrito is ahead in experience other than poor old Terra.
Dzoni does have enough for that Book of the Dead. He's got about 1,500 gold in hand, so could also just go for the Bancrofts and then start building towards Polynomicon.
I mean, they're the only 2 options in that happening. So it's either Book of the Dead or Bancrofts. We'll see where he ends up going with that as this goes on. And then after that, do we see Poly, do you expect?
Could be a pen item and then into Poly, but usually you want Rod around your 4th item, so could be foregoing penetration. And honestly, with how far behind Julio and FrostiaK are, I don't think that's an awful idea.
Sure.
You're not gonna have a Heartward Amulet quite yet for LanceWolf. You can see the Gladiator Shield for Julio. You're gonna be able to punch through anything that he gets, at least with the amount of damage you'll have, pretty easily. It is Bancrofts and it is gonna be pen. So and this is completely fine as well.
Sure.
Obsidian Shard, blow him up, just try and get that route up to Hootie as online as possible.
And with that pen, you can take into account no one's actually built magical defense yet. And it's going to be a little bit of time before that happens. So he's going to be doing true damage if he goes for the right sort of build.
Exactly. So if you're going penetration this early when no one has any sort of defense, it's better to go for something like Spear of Desolation. You want flat pen instead of percent pen. Percent against a small percentage doesn't really do that much for you, whereas Spear of Desolation could be great here. 20% CDR is 10% CDR, excuse me, as well as 80 power, 20 pen. It is a little bit expensive, but with how far ahead Dzoni is right now, I don't think cost is a big issue for him.
Well, he's not that far ahead. Look at the XP per minute and just keep an eye on Kespainify in that duo lane as it stands. He's flying away in experience, but you kind of expect that from a Jing Wei.
FrostiaK can't find anyone to land on with that ultimate. Now Fusify pushing it forward. Frosty in a lot of trouble, knocked up and put down. DeathPanter finishes up what Kespainify started.
Got to give credit to Spudio there, who did a very good job of helping out his teammates, because LanceWolf, I think, should have died too. If it wasn't for the ultimate and the pressure that he put on with Calder there, it could have been a little bit worse for Victoria's Secret, but it's getting worse anyway, because the gold's going down for the 2nd time in 12 minutes.
12-minute, 2 Gold Furies, a 3-0 and 2 Kuang. Victoria's Secret
can't do this.
Has made it quite a mountain for them to try and climb.
Well, now we can see Burrito either go for the tier 1 tower mid or invade, and it looks like they would rather invade and look for the blue buff. Here comes once again Sibi with a bird bomb. Won't take it away from Julio, but Dzoni is stealthed away and was looking for a cleanup kill on LanceWolf. He keeps Julio in the fight for the time being, but Julio's doing okay. Nice double tap out of FrostiaK. But it's still not going to come to naught.
Wise decision to not teleport to that. It may seem like the right call there, but look at how much damage Sibi can do to him. Red buff, or speed buff, excuse me, goes down. FrostiaK didn't get it. That was Burrito's, and DeathPanter gets another kill.
That one wasn't calculated. Dzoni's still hanging here. Calm down, son. Be careful. Lord of the Afterlife in place. Dzoni jukes out, but it's minions.
Oh, no.
The archers to the rescue. The sun's rained down from DeathPanter as he looks to chase down. He won't be able to find Julio, and in the end, Burrito, happy with the results, will get a free Portal Demon too.
But they did lose Dzoni, who was worth an awful lot of gold. That was a big bounty for Julio to claim.
That was Kespainify soloing Portal Demon as well, wasn't it? The classic
DeathPanter was there with him.
Oh, was he?
DeathPanter was there with him, right? 30 stacks is not enough to start soloing objectives. You're still going to be taking too much damage.
I was a little bit scared of that. I was like, hang on a second.
No. Not too. No, it's going to take a little bit longer.
Death Gold isn't that good now.
We're not that far off from him being able to solo objectives, though, because he's already at 39 stacks. That's more than half of the 70 needed, and what we've seen it pretty consistently today. Hunters are able to solo Gold Fury, solo Portal Demon, just like they were used to be able to whenever Devourer's Gauntlets and Aussie was a little bit stronger. Things that these lifesteal hunters that they went away from during Season 4, kind of remembering how strong it can
Run,
be.
Elephant, run. You need to get away from this as quick as you can. The silence will help him out, but knocked up, and boom goes the dynamite as the bird bomb connects from Sibi. Another kill. and now everybody's getting themselves on the scoreboard.
Little unfortunate there that Johnny couldn't find the execute. Obviously didn't need to use the ultimate, but could have just gotten that last stack of the passive. Yeah. Either way, I'm sure Burrito not too broken up about
Double walls, double root, one bird bomb, but the Disapparate comes into play. Doesn't stop the tier 1 tower going down. Tell you what though, if you're a Pappies fan here, if you're a Pappies fan, you've probably got a bit of a grin on your face right now. A happy grin.
Oh yeah, Spudio almost finds a solo kill up against Kespainify, but Jing able to get out of danger. No surprise there, but just about the safest hunter in the game is Johnny taking the 1v1 up against Julio, but don't know if I'd want to take this if I'm Osiris. He has no magical protection at all.
No. Not for the time being anyway. He just continues needing to farm up, especially with being a level down as it stands too. One thing about Victoria's Secret today, I will say the standout plays for me on this team, I knew Mr. Stefan was going to give what he always gives, which is, for the most part, very solid positioning. But Spudio, LanceWolf for me, they're the standout players today. That duo lane has been look pretty good.
Spudio in particular has really impressed me. To be honest, Mr. Stefan I thought was going to perform a little bit better than he did overall today. He had a couple lackluster performances, and I think that you could have expected a little bit more just based on his previous level of play. As Julio, again,
he gets the third kill. And now LanceWolf, Mr. Stefan, and FrostiaK turn up, look for DeathPanter. Johnny's thinking about going back in because he's got a rotation coming. He'll draw some attention to him. And FrostiaK's low on health and trapped in a ring and deleted. Johnny with a double kill. Next on the list could be Mr. Stefan, who's running for his life. And that will be a triple kill. Delayed slightly, but still a triple. The quadra could be on the cards after the bird bomb. The walls are actually causing Johnny more of a problem. But there is a quadra kill for an out Kuang. And a tier 1 tower falls. And the grin on the Pappy's face is just getting slightly bigger.
And the glow of the F6 button for Victoria's Secret is just starting to get that much brighter. A quadra kill for an Ao Kuang. Right around 15 minutes, he's 7-1-3. You're down 10 kills already.
Tier 2 goes down to right. And now we can see the Spudio, though, is probably the last hope I already feel for Victoria's Secret. He's having a good time against Kespainify. You can see he forced Kespainify back to base there after a trade, but now this could be a bad situation because no ultimate available for Spudio. He has to turn tail and run, but rotation's coming in, and Kespainify doesn't have a tower.
There's the Lord of the Afterlife. No ultimate either for Kespainify. Stun as well. In a lot of trouble trying to turn it around on a Spudio. I like the idea, but just not enough damage. FrostiaK claims his second kill.
And Spudio is the heart they need in this team. The bad news is he didn't get the kill there either.
Oh, no,
so he won't be able to catch up. And now round the back comes Johnny, looking for some pressure. Beads used there as he did hit the speed off the Skadi that he wasn't expecting. He won't get the execute, but he'll still get the kill.
FrostiaK's gonna die here as well. Johnny gets the heal. Could be a third. DeathPanter gonna claim it himself. That's his third in total. Johnny comes up big there. Big shell from Fusify. That's the difference maker. The Bancroft's talent, I mean, Johnny gets low, sure, but that just means he's doing extra damage, getting extra lifesteal.
Third goal fury.
All of a sudden, he gets a big burst of damage because he's low HP, but still has that shell from Fusify. That's the thing that turns it around. Another Gold Fury goes down. That's the third for Burrito this game.
I'm going to have to sit here and say, like, I think for the whole of Relegations in the EU today, Johnny's been the one name that I've said more than anybody's, and I think I've heard all day so far. His Ao Kuang has been amazing in this. He's been involved in, what, 13 kills in this one?
Yeah, 13.
13 kills, and he's only got 9 of them, you know?
Yeah, just 9. There's only 15 kills. He's been a part of almost all of them.
Look at that build.
Yeah, he's got Spirit Desolation now, and it's going to be a Polynomicon, which is actually more damage than Rod of Tahuti, so...
But to be fair, like Victoria's Secret, they would do exactly the same as ranked players would, and they won't surrender, even though this is a really awkward position to be in against a level 17 Ao Kuang.
You know, we're kind of joking about how Victoria's Secret is in a really bad spot. There goes the blink on the Spudio. No purification beads, though, and Spudio turning it around. Call deer here.
Overconfidence.
All right, Johnny.
Overconfidence.
Oh, no, he got him.
Bancrofts to the rescue, and the dragon is unleashed. The dog does nothing. Meanwhile, Portal Demon goes down at the same time.
What's a dog to a dragon?
Here we go.
Now
FrostiaK's
Johnny,
turn.
FrostiaK's up. Gonna try and find him. There's the full combo. He did it. We got him.
Raid boss down. I repeat, raid boss down. 16-4. FrostiaK now has 3 kills, and he got a couple of levels for his privilege of taking down the Ao Kuang.
But as I was about to say, Victoria's Secret obviously in a horrible spot in this game. However, this is one that you don't F6. This is your entire, relegation life on the line. Doesn't matter how negative it starts to look, you gotta keep the dream alive.
I just wish my teammates would surrender because they're not playing for a spot like this, you know? in my ranked games when it goes this bad.
Hindu, don't you usually tell me that no one wants to hear about my games?
Yeah, because my games are more important than yours because I'm relevant. Remember that one.
Yeah.
Remember that one.
Your high
16
gold, low plat games.
Panther. Don't be offensive to the high gold, low plat games. I'm not even offended by that.
I'm just saying.
I don't care. I really don't.
Just a little lost on how those are super relevant.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Forgive me. I apologize.
That's all right.
I'll listen to your high-level box knowledge any day of the week.
Don't
you worry about it.
Hey, Odin's good. That's my high-level box knowledge.
It worked out pretty well. I'll tell you who is good. Kuang, or at least Dzoni is good. May have bitten off a bit more than he could chew in the last engagement, but, well, he still did solo 1v1 and then get half health. He was already at half health when he took on FrostiaK.
And no purification beads. I like where his build is going, though. Instead of going for Rod of Tahuti after the Polynomicon says, I've got enough damage, and trust me, he does. He's going for a Winged Blade instead. A little bit more HP, trying to immune some of these slows coming out. And Victoria's Secret has plenty of those between Osiris, Soul, and Ganesh.
FrostiaK is in a bit of trouble there. He was thinking about throwing the hammer out, but if he does, they could all in him once again. So the double hunters looking to chip away at the tier 2 tower. No Fire Giant really needed at this stage, let's be honest. The minions pouring through, and the level lead is good enough, and there's a Blink Ring.
Finds 3 right in there. Double root as well. Bird Bomb comes through. Not quite enough yet. FrostiaK has the dunk there, but it's not quite enough as Dzoni gobbles up the Ganesh.
And now in the sky, it's going to force Victoria's Secret all the way back to their Phoenix, worried about where Dzoni could land down. But what he did was jump straight to the red buff and go, right, jobs are good. We get the tier 2, and we also get another kill.
Just always keeping that objective in mind. Burrito, yeah, they've been a little greedy at times this game, but when it matters, when they're grouping up, getting ready to siege, they keep it tight. They only worry about the objective. Smart plays out of them.
Oracle's on the left going to go to Panther as well. He's 3-0 and 8, and you can see the player damage. It's all Dzoni versus Spudio, but we already saw how that matchup will work out, as Dzoni just made sure to let Spudio know, listen, if you think you have a chance in this, remember the name. And
that was before he had Polynomicon. That was before he has a Winged Blade now, so that slow from Skadi's 1 isn't going to be as impactful. It's not getting any better for dealing with Kuang. It never gets any better. It only continually gets worse when you play against Al.
Now, try to work out what the best form of defense for Victoria's Secret is and how they get their way back into this, but realistically, it's kind of just hope Burrito make mistakes over and over again. You're going to have him make, in my eyes, 3 or 4 at this stage with how big the gold lead is. 13K.
13K.
And now Fire Giant's being done and Victoria's Secret aren't even around. They're going to go to the Gold Fury of the carries, looking to see if the Gold Fury's up, and that's not even available either. So Fire Giant, 21 minutes in, not even 22. And Burrito are really... We said Snowball's really tricky, but I tell you what, I guess Kuang just, removes that idea.
Sometimes whenever you get a late-game hyper carry that gets really, really big, really, really early, the game is just kind of over.
No.
And that's what happened here today.
Well, it's not over just yet. The push down the left-hand side from 2 of them is still on. Stefan's hanging around, and I think this is a terrible call because he'll now find out there's people behind him. And well, I was trying to give Stefan some credit, but I don't think that was the wisest call in the world right now. Maybe he's just starting to realize that it's not going to happen today. I think Victoria's Secret did very well today, especially when they came in as the 2nd seed in the Relegations.
Yes.
New Game Plus were the #1 seed coming into this after the Challenger circuit.
And New Game Plus didn't even manage to take a game today.
No.
Victoria's Secret definitely has a lot of potential, and with the way that Season 5 Challenger is going to go, where you're not going to be moving up with an entire team like you do now, but it's a little bit more individual-based. There are plenty of guys on this roster, as we mentioned. FrostiaK's been there, done that. The team needs a jungler. FrostiaK will probably be in consideration. Mr. Stefan there for mid laners. Spudio has definitely put his name into the conversation as well.
Well, Sibi's going to put his name in there with that blink and ring straight away. Taking a lot of damage, so he will disengage. Kespainify 8 more than they would like to on the front side too. That was a very good defense from Victoria's Secret. The bad news is that Lance, though, he dashed through the Thor wall and it trapped him on the other side. And that means it's a 4v5 against the Fire Giant team.
If you wanted a little quick, succinct wrap-up of how this game has gone for Victoria's Secret, that was it.
FrostiaK ages his early to avoid some damage. Dzoni still in the sky, still gonna come straight into Stefan and Spudio, who both ages and run for their lives, but the bird bomb from Sibi will clean up the remnants of Skadi's health bar as the Phoenix in mid's health bar is removed as well. They're thinking about going right. They're getting greedy, but I don't think it's a bad situation to be greedy right now.
There's the bird bomb on to Mr. Stefan. FrostiaK does find Kespainify, but DeathPanter immediately makes him pay for that. Mr. Stefan, the only one alive, does have that supernova as LanceWolf respawns. So Victoria's Secret defend their left and right side Phoenixes, at least for the moment.
It's like Pappies and Burrito.
Wait, do you hear that? You smelled something earlier. I think I hear the cheering from Spain right now.
It could be. I mean, I remember it's still ringing in my ears from DreamHack, to be fair, but it may be back again right now because the Pappies are looking good. Burrito are doing the dirty work that needs to be done to make sure that they both go back to the SPL. Question on my lips, though, is if both those go back, are either of them in contention for that 6th place? Because that's what the split's going to all be about.
I don't know, man. I mean, you look down the list of European teams right now. Who was the 6th seed? Elevate, I believe.
I guess, yeah.
Elevate looked really good at times during the summer split. Europe is the most competitive region Smite has ever seen, and it really isn't close. Both these teams still have a lot of work to do in terms of keeping that top 6, but with how Burrito's played today, if Dzoni goes 12-2-7 on Kuang, it's going to make their life a lot easier in terms of securing one of those top 6 spots.
Well, we saw him get Kamazots earlier on as well, and Johnny's starting to rise himself into that issue of like, hey, what gods can't he play and cause problems with?
Thor was the one that he did during Relegations in the summer, and everyone was talking about his Thor. Now it's the Kamazots, the Kuang. You're right. He's got a wide god pool and can carry on just about anything.
Look at the tricks there, just to go in, poke out Julio, and disengage before Stefan can get the ult off. And then Stefan is forced into an awkward ring, which means the Phantom has to come into play. But slowly but surely, they're just tripping him down.
Dzoni just baits out that Lord of the Afterlife afterwards. Doesn't get the execute off. A little unfortunate for him there, but you're right. Johnny's just reading everyone on Victoria's Secret like a wide open book.
He definitely wants to make sure he goes back again. So 2 Phoenixes down, only 1 remains. Spudio doing his best split push impression as he can. But now up against Sibi, it's going to be a rough time. Not the greatest bear bomb, Sibi. I get the idea behind it, though. He wanted to pull it up early, expecting her to juke back into it, because most Odins will jump all the way they can.
But that extra speed buff, that one will hit, and Spudio not going to survive this one.
Fusify steals it. Good job, Fusify.
He earned that one. He actually soloed him there.
Well, he actually needed to earn it, too, let's be honest, because he was 0016.
Yeah.
You get called a bad support if, you don't get a kill, so.
Wow, you must get called a bad support often.
Yeah, but I was still a better mid laner than you will ever be, so it's okay. For anyone listening to his giggles,
I can't even pretend to take that one.
I mean, to be fair, I could just talk about that Jing game every day for the rest of my life. It's so easy. Final Phoenix now being sieged down. Burrito are up 23-5 and looking to put the nail in the coffin of Victoria's Secret, sending them back down to the Challenger Circuit for the final time. Some of these players may enter the SPL next year, but we won't be seeing them this year, that's for sure.
And not on these rosters. Again, these players can move into the SPL at any time, and you're going to see a big influx of Challenger Cup talent with the new format for Season 5 next year, but not in terms of big rosters where these 5 players make it in together. It's going to be, hey, we need this position. Let's look at the Challenger Circuit and see who is worthy of being picked up right now.
It's a good day when your support is just sitting in base for gold so we can get a whole Medjai's Blessing after selling Swiftwing as his final item.
Shouts to that kill.
27 minutes. That's what the kill was,
on the Spudio, yeah.
Good point.
Calculated perfectly.
Is he going to solo this? Are they going to let him solo this? I hope he does.
He's going to be able to
just so we can show that it still is possible with Hunters.
He's not even using the extra power that you can get by using the dash, the agility dash after the persistent gust knockup. An easy fire giant. That's their second. Burrito, something tells me they're not going to need a third.
No, I don't think so either. It's looking really rough now for Victoria's Secret. The only one really with kills this game is FrostiaK, who got put behind early, but he was the one that was trying to make something happen for his team. I thought it was going to be the duo lane, if anyone, but it's FrostiaK that tried to do what he could, but he's been in a deficit since minute 1.
Now, middle Phoenix, the only one that has respawned, and it didn't last for very long. There's 2 Hunters on the side of Burrito, in case you forgot about those, because we've been so worried about Johnny's Kuang. 2 Hunters in the late game is also pretty solid.
FrostiaK is around the back here, has his ultimate available now. Thor looking to potentially try and turn this one around with a late game ult, but he's going to meet Panther, and meanwhile Dzoni causing problems in the base, and Panther actually 1v1s FrostiaK and wins. This could be it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if they manage to end this off this play, I'm not sure if they can.
I think they can, though. I mean, look at how quickly that Titan's falling. It's still not a lot of damage on it. Johnny's just running distraction while the 2 Hunters finish it off. Burrito and the Poppies are your 2 SPL teams coming out of European relegations.
They make it back for another split. We'll see how high they can get in that split, but right now, they'll be high enough with the victories today.
Absolutely. I mean, you can only beat the teams that are in front of you. Both teams did. The Poppies needed a little bit of help from Burrito, and which is kind of funny because the Poppies looked like the stronger team during their SPL season during the summer than Burrito did. But maybe this could be the sign of Burrito starting to take that experience, starting to learn from it. Maybe they can be that 7th seed and try and challenge that 6.
That's a big point here. Both of these teams have to continue going. But let's talk about that game. Who do we start with? I guess the only person to end with as well is Dzoni.
Yeah, that's who I was going to say.
Dzoni on the Kuang from minute 42 on the clock is when this engagement started, and he finds himself the first kill, and it didn't just stop there.
Julio just not respecting that Odin damage earlier on. I like the beads there from Dzoni as well to make sure that he's not going to get stunned just in case, because that first blood, we saw how important it ended up being.
And then it just went on and on, like a broken record, just over and over again, finding the ultimates, juking around continuously against Victoria's Secret and causing them to be in awkward positions every single time and waiting out abilities like that.
And exactly,
Beautiful.
just where are all of these engagements happening? Solo lane. Julio falls in all 3 of those clips. It's going to be a 4th one here where he falls to start it off.
Solo lane focus, is that what we're starting to see again from these junglers, it seems?
For Kuang especially, always. Kuang loves a gank to solo lane, kind of similar to Circuit, where you can full combo, you can get your guaranteed ultimate off, you can get your CC off and know that it's going to hit home. Yes, you can go for the mage, but in the early game, you're not going to 100-0 anyone with your 2-3 combination. You really need to find that execute.
And this was a quadra kill. I said delayed, but I think it was a full quadra kill, that one, looking back through it. And that was only at 12-2, but Burrito did it. Just about. It wasn't clean today, but it was good enough.
No, but Burrito looked like the best team here today, and they had that one loss, but overall, they looked very, very strong. If you're a Burrito Esports fan, you should be pretty excited moving into the fall.
So Burrito and the Poppies will make it through. Have a look at the standings and see how it all went down today. Victoria's Secret will end up in the 3rd spot.
Very, very close. As you mentioned, New Game Plus, they were the top seed coming out of the Challenger Cup for this relegation process, but didn't have the day that they would have hoped.
No, unfortunately not. So that's all we have time for over in Europe today. The good news is it's not done with relegations because we have tomorrow as well, which is all about North America.
Let's take a look at the schedule, actually, because I'm excited about this one. North America relegations usually has quite a bit of excitement there, and I'm sure tomorrow is going to be no different.
And you can see all the teams that will play tomorrow. Everybody plays each other best of ones. If we have tiebreakers, we'll keep going just like we did today. Find out which 2 teams will be entering the North American Pro League.
Can AI and Flashpoint defend? I mean, I know a lot of people are pretty high on AI with Incon moving back to support. We get to see T-Money. He spent a lot of time as Eager's sub. How can he do on a roster? Excited to see how that team's going to perform.
Well, looking really good. Well, we do have a couple of promos for you guys at home as well. We've got 3 times worshippers going on this weekend, so make sure you level up those gods right about now.
And if you play out Kuang, go to the solo lane and get really fed early. You'll get lots of worshippers.
I guess. That could
that's
work.
the play, for sure.
If you guys know Kuang, if he's going to start speeding his own, just make sure you just go
get
take
there
it
a little earlier. Yeah.
Spectacular chest is 25% off. I don't know what's in it, but I guess it's spectacular. More than likely, it's those skins that you see on the screen.
I mean, Swagny's got to be in a chest that says spectacular on it, right?
Sure. And the king has to be on there.
Great skin.
And then
my favorite pocket skin.
All these promos, all voice packs, 50% off this
weekend. What's going on this weekend? Why are we?
I don't know.
This isn't special. It's just a weekend in August.
Discounts. That's all I'm seeing so far. So hopefully you can take full abuse of that. And last but not least, don't forget that hi-rez Expo is coming in January as per usual. This year is someone's year.
Yeah, that's true. Someone's going to win this year. No, it's actually next year is someone's year. This year was already Energy's. Remember, that happened in Energy. That happened in January.
But that's still next year. That's true. True enough. Well, with that, it's time for us to close the show. But before we go, we're going to throw you off to one of the other contestants on the cast, the one you've not met just yet. Ooh. Have a little look.
My name is John Finch, Young Link 31 in game, from Macon, Georgia. So I'm not even too far from Alpharetta. You know, when you're doing the 9 to 5, you know, when people are talking about loving what they do, well, I mean, if I think about what I love, it's playing games and honestly talking. Those are the 2 things I love to do. So it's like if there's some marriage of it, then I think esports is it. I was in a military family growing up, so like, you know, I was actually born in Japan overseas, and I was there through like 2nd grade. Then we moved down here, to the south. We're kind of a small town, so there's not a whole lot going on, but I mean, my dad was always into gaming. He used to we play Street Fighter, and he'd put me in the corner, and he'd be like, "All right, just dodge these fireballs. Don't do anything else," And I guess it's just we started off playing games like that, so I've always loved them. Always played them.